Hello, and welcome to Feelinglymie. Today I would like to talk to you about something that we've all been affected by and at some point in life we'll all experience, and that is grief. Grief essentially is a deep-seated sorrow over the loss of someone or something. There are many avenues from which grief can be felt, such as a job change or job loss, moving, a relationship change, divorce, actual loss of possessions, money, financial burdens or stressors, the gaining of an illness or the losing an illness and learning to live without, even our past and thinking towards our future, a way of living. Most often, we refer to grieving in the sense of death. I know this past year was a very difficult year for many, many people. There was a lot of loss. I lost my best friend in July, and a month later, my aunt died unexpectedly. And this past week, I lost my dog, Daisy. And it's been hard. It's been a hard thing, but it's a very natural thing. It's a very natural response to someone or something that's been a part of your life, that's impacted your life. And it's universal. Everyone goes through this. Even animals go through this. There are seals who have a certain kind of cry or wail that they have whenever they lose another. Elephants, when they lose an elder, oftentimes will greet their young differently. There are many effects that we have from grief, physically, emotionally, socially, spiritually. And there's no right way or wrong way to grieve necessarily. There's no time limit. There was once a psychiatrist who studied loss and grief and death, and she came up with some commonalities among those who have grieved and have lost. And at first, she had 5 stages, and then it moved and modified into 7 stages. And briefly, I just want to tell you about those. You may find yourself in one of these stages. You may find someone else that you may want to help in some of these stages. Again, there's no right way or wrong way. So you may skip a step. You may circle back around to another step. You may spend a really long time in one stage and skip through others or have some coupled together. One is shock and denial. This is kind of your stage of unbelief, and it's almost an emotional protection over the news you've heard. This is when you can't believe it. A lot of times you forget it happened. Second stage, which is pain and guilt. This is where it is more rooted inside, and you really begin to feel the pain of that loss and that void within. A lot of times people feel really guilty. There's a what ifs, if onlys, and within that, people may become frustrated. The third stage is anger and bargaining. We've all felt anger. God created anger, and it's just what you do with it. Oftentimes, here's where people may begin to blame. They may blame themselves. They may blame others. They may even blame the person or thing they've lost. There's a lot of, what if we had only done this? If only I could have done this. Thinking through the history and current events of how things went down. There's a lot of, dear God, please, if you do this, I'll do this during this stage. From here, people sometimes move into the 4th stage, which is depression. It's a reflection on loneliness. Sometimes this is a quieter stage, a more inward turned reflection. You may have more isolated times. You may withdraw more in this stage. From here, Kubler found that a lot of times people move to the 5th stage, which is an upward turn, which is just the beginnings of adjusting to life as is, life without, and what that looks like. You may begin to start to function a little bit better. The 6th is reconstruction and working through. A lot of times with this stage, people begin to find that they have a new normal. Never, when you lose someone or something, will you just be over it? Will you just forget about it? When people make an impact or have invested in our lives, whether it was a short period of time or a long period of time, that affects us. And when they're gone, our life has changed. And we do have to learn to function in some kind of new normal. The 7th stage, acceptance and hope. I want to stress, this is not you forget someone. You moved on. You've gotten over it. You've stopped having feelings or anything like that. This is really a stage where you kind of see almost a silver lining. I almost think of it as maybe you start to see light again. You may have more good days than bad days. That doesn't mean you don't feel it. You are not sad. You do not miss the person, but you begin to start to take steps forward in living without the person physically with you and living with them in the investment they've made and how that looks for your future. I believe that I'm in several stages. I believe that I've experienced many stages together at the same time. And I think that it just really depends on life, where you are and your situation and how you deal with it. Sometimes we say, I'm not going to think about this. I'm not going to do this. And we get really busy or we just try to just ignore it and stuff. But no matter what, at some point, we really do all need to go through grief to get out of grief. That's the only way. There are many things that we need to remember about helping other people, knowing that there are side effects to grief, physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, spiritually, all around it affects us. I want to further talk about that, but I'm breaking this video up because it tends to be a long video. No matter where you are in process of grief or you see someone else in a process of grief, remember it's normal. We all go through it and you can heal from this. It doesn't mean you leave something or someone behind or you forget them. It just means that you're feeling the experience and you're going to learn a new normal. If you ever need someone to talk to, please reach out to your friends, your family, journal, contact a pastor, a counselor. There are support websites and things that you can look to for assistance and help and guidance. Just knowing someone else is there is really important. There are many things and many people out there that want to help you. Allow for that. Remember to be compassionate on both ends, helping or feeling the grief. I can't wait to share with you about some of the ways that grief actually affects our bodies and how a healthy person is affected and comparing that to how a chronically ill person may be affected. I also want to share eventually with you ways to help, things that help, resources and such. But for today, just know that you are not alone. No matter where you are in life, whether you're grieving or you're just lonely, I just speak a lot of peace and joy in your life today. Get out there and experience the sun today if you get a chance. And I will talk to you next time.